The Cosmic Staff. Need a gadget that lets you fly, throw starfire, or look stylish while doing it? The Cosmic Staff's got you covered. Its story starts way back in Adventure Comics number 61 when brilliant astronomer Ted Knight built the original gravity rod, which is basically an anti-gravity wand powered by stellar energy. Decades later, his son Jack inherited the family legacy during the Starman relaunch and upgraded the tech into a sleek quarterstaff. That's when it earned the name Cosmic Staff, and pretty quickly became the ultimate blend of science and showmanship. When Jack finally hung up his goggles, he passed the staff to Courtney Whitmore, who made it famous as Stargirl. The staff is more than a fancy flashlight. It channels raw star power to blast enemies, wrap you in force fields, or even lift you into the sky like a personal roller coaster. On top of that, it responds to mental commands, moving with its wielder's thoughts, and some stories even hint it has a quiet personality, like a cosmic coach nudging its partner towards heroics. Golden Age Ted used it for high-speed flight and energy duels. Jack pushed its limits in deep space adventures, and Courtney still zips through the JSA roster with it today. Equal parts weapon and heirloom, the Cosmic Staff carries a family history of heroics while serving as the galaxy's most reliable star-powered sidekick. Casket of Ancient Winters. Have you ever thought winter was bad? Imagine a winter so brutal it could freeze whole worlds solid and never stop snowing. That's the Casket of Ancient Winters, a weapon forged from the essence of the primordial frost giant, aka Ymir. This thing isn't just a fancy Asgardian trinket, it's basically a doomsday freezer set to apocalypse. When opened, the casket doesn't just drop the temperature, it unleashes storms and blizzards strong enough to paralyze armies, bury kingdoms, and even threaten entire realms like Asgard and Earth. Think less snow day and more goodbye civilization. First really showcased in Walt Simeon's legendary Thor run, the casket quickly earned a reputation as one of those story-driving artifacts villains and gods alike can't resist chasing. Surtur himself once sought to wield it, and shows that even beings of fire and chaos see the appeal in an endless ice age. Its destructive power isn't flashy reality warping or multiversal trickery, it's raw elemental annihilation. You open it, and suddenly you're looking at climate collapse on a mythic scale. So why does it land at number 14? Because while the casket is terrifying, it's still a one-trick pony. It won't rewrite history, bend minds, or restructure reality itself. What it does is freeze everything, and it does that better than anything else in the Nine Realms. It's the difference between owning a cosmic scalpel and a really, really big hammer made of ice. Deadly, catastrophic, but still bound to the weather forecast. Trident of Neptune. If you ever wanted a weapon that doubles as a royal crown and a weather app gone rogue, the Trident of Neptune is your catch of the day. First surfacing in America's Greatest Comics number 5 back in 1942, yes, it came out during the World War II, this three-pronged powerhouse started as a divine gift to Atlantis' earliest kings. Later stories blend it with the legend of Atlan, aka the mysterious founder of Atlantis, making the weapon as much a symbol of rulership as a piece of god-forged hardware. The trident isn't just a shiny fork for poking sea monsters, it channels ocean magic on a ridiculous scale, summoning tsunamis, calling storms, firing off lightning, and wrapping the wielder in shimmering force fields. On top of that, it's basically indestructible, a perfect match for anyone planning to duel cosmic heavyweights or hostile gods. Modern Aquaman run treats it as the ultimate rule to right. Whoever holds the trident isn't only king by tradition, but can bend the sea itself to their will. Across decades, it's been swung by Arthur Curry, Atlan, and even Black Manta, each proving the trident's bite is as dangerous as its legacy. One swipe can topple fleets, crack supernatural defenses, or turn an enemy into fish food. Regal, unstoppable, and deeply magical, the Trident of Neptune remains the ocean's ultimate mic drop. 3 sharp points of pure Atlantean authority. Wand of Watum. If regular magic wands are like carrying a flashlight, the Wands of Watum are like holding twin nuclear reactors that also shoot lasers. These crystalline batons, forged by the mystical force known as Watum, aren't just props for sorcerers to wave around dramatically, they're serious amplifiers. Give one to an average magician, and they might light up a city. Hand them to Doctor Strange, and suddenly he's tossing spells that ripple across dimensions. Throughout Strange's history, the wands have been used as conduits to boost sorcery far beyond normal limits. With them, spells could jump from street-level trickery to cosmic-scale fireworks. They've redirected extra-dimensional beings, reinforced ancient protective sigils, and even helped in the creation of pocket realities. In some storylines, the wands basically act like the magical multipliers, letting a sorcerer throw around the kind of power normally reserved for elder gods or dimensional tyrants. If magic is fuel, the wands are rocket boosters. Still, their danger isn't entirely in the object itself, but in the hands that wield them. A novice with the wands might fry themselves before finishing the first incantation, while a master like Strange can use them to stand toe-to-toe with gods. That's why they land at number 12 on the ranking. They're not inherently rewriting reality on their own, but they can enable almost any magical ambition, no matter how reckless. They're less a weapon and more a cheat code for sorcerers. Terrifying when used right, but still dependent on the skill of the player. So if you see someone that can't even do anything with it, just say skill issue. Molecule Man's Wand. It looks like a simple wand, but don't be fooled. This stick once held the keys to rewriting everything. Molecule Man's Wand started out as Owen Reese's supposed power source, back when Marvel thought he needed a prop to explain his absurd abilities. Later, retcons revealed the truth. Reese's reality bending was innate. But the wand stuck around, and it turned out to be much more than a magician's pointer. In multiple storylines, the wand has acted as a container for Owen's very life force. Drop his body, and his essence could linger inside the wand, ready to possess whoever picked it up, even if it's a random snake. In Avengers number 215 to 216, it served as a survival vault, allowing Reese to keep manipulating matter and energy even when reduced to little more than a consciousness. Over time, it was also shown to function as a focus, channeling the kind of power that, thanks to later Beyonder-related revelations, we now know operates at a multiversal scale. In other words, it wasn't just a magic stick. It was a portable anchor to one of Marvel's ultimate reality architects. Why does it put it so high at number 6? Because unlike most weapons that blow up cities or freeze realms, the wand provides access to powers that can reframe the entire multiverse. Even if Owen himself is the true source, canon has repeatedly used the wand as his vessel, meaning whoever controls it potentially controls him. And if history proves anything, you don't want a pocket-sized molecule man falling into the wrong hands. The Eye of Agamotto. It may not look like much more than a shiny amulet, but the Eye of Agamotto is one of the most reliable cheat codes in Doctor Strange's arsenal. Forged by Agamotto, one of the original Vishanti, the eye has been hanging around Strange's neck since the earliest adventures in Strange's tales. While the MCU turned into a flashy time-warping gadget, in the comics its specialty is truth, vision, and piercing through all the magical nonsense of Marvel Universe loves to throw around. The eye has a knack for exposing what's really going on, since it can slice through illusions, sniff out lies, and highlight spells or curses that might otherwise slip past even the Sorcerer Supreme's radar. In the right hands, it doesn't just reveal problems, it can neutralize or redirect hostile magic entirely. Think of it as the ultimate mystical diagnostic tool that also doubles as a shield when things get dicey. Strange has used it on countless crises, often as the key to figuring out what sort of abstract horror he's actually fighting. It doesn't always blow up villains, but it tells him how to win. That's why the Eye earns a spot at number 11. Its value isn't raw destruction, but reliability. In a universe where deception, astral trickery, and reality warping threats lurk around every corner, having a tool that always cuts through the smoke is priceless. The Wands of Watum might let you throw bigger fireballs, but the Eye of Agamotto makes sure you're aiming at the real target. The Book of Vishanti. Every sorcerer needs a spellbook, but the Book of Vishanti isn't just any dusty tome. It's the magical equivalent of having Google, Wikipedia, and an antivirus program all rolled into one, except written by actual gods. Created by the Vishanti, the trio of benevolent cosmic beings who basically sponsor Earth's Sorcerer Supreme, the book is the ultimate manual for order-based magic. If the Darkhold is the recipe book for chaos and corruption, the Vishanti is the repair guide that fixes everything after someone blows up the kitchen. Within its pages lies a near-endless library of counterspells, protective enhancements, and reality-stabilizing incantations. When Doctor Strange cracks it open, it always seems to have the exact right needed to close a demon portal, repel a dimension-hopping horror, or scrub away the kind of magical infection that would normally turn a hero into a tentacled nightmare. It's been tapped to fuel bigger rituals like sealing off entire realms or rewriting the local rules of reality just enough to keep things from falling apart. What makes the Book of the Vishanti so valuable is that it doesn't just attack, it corrects. It's the cosmic safety net that keeps the magical balance from tipping into oblivion. That's why it earns the number 10 spot. The book might not let you go wild creating your own twisted realities, but it ensures that when someone else does, you've got the ultimate guide to undo the mess. In the Marvel Universe, that's not just helpful, that's survival. The Darkhold. Some books change your life. The Darkhold changes your soul, and not in a good way. Known as the Book of the Damned, this cursed grimoire was penned by the elder god Chthon himself, which already tells you it's not going to be a bedtime reading. It's one of Marvel's most infamous magical artifacts, popping up again and again to cause chaos, corruption, and the occasional apocalypse. The Darkhold's pages are stuffed with nasty spells imaginable. We're talking resurrection of the dead, mind control, opening portals between universes, and summoning creatures so ancient they make Galactus look like a toddler. Heroes and villains alike have tried their luck with it, and most come out broken, possessed, or worse. Even simply reading the book is dangerous. Its knowledge burrows into your mind, warping you until you're more servant than sorcerer. The Scarlet Witch, Doctor Doom, and countless others have crossed paths with it, and every time the fallout is catastrophic. Unlike a single-use weapon or a flashy relic that blasts fireballs, the Darkhold is endlessly reusable and endlessly corrupting. It doesn't just break the rules of reality, it rewrites them in Chthon's language of chaos. That's why it ranks at number 9. It's not omnipotence in one neat package, but it gives mortals and monsters alike the tools to twist fate itself. The price? Your sanity, your soul, and probably your friend's safety. Think of it as the Marvel Universe's worst self-help book. The more you read, the worse your life becomes. The Heart of Darkness. Some gems sparkle. This one plots murder. The Heart of Darkness, better known as the Black Diamond, is a shiny chunk of pure trouble that carries the vengeful spirit of Eclipso. Its story kicks off in House of Secrets number 61 back in 1963 when scientist Bruce Gordon gets nicked by the stone during a solar eclipse and suddenly finds the raging moon demon sharing his body. That was only a warm-up. By the early 90s, DC pulled the curtain back in Eclipso, the Darkness Within, and revealed the diamond wasn't just cursed jewelry, but a prison for an ancient cosmic force. Worse, the gem shattered into thousands of little shards, each one ready to hijack whoever touched it. The diamond's skill set is as nasty as it sounds. A single fragment can infect anyone with a flicker of anger and give Eclipso the wheel. When the heart is whole, it lets him command armies of possessed heroes and fire off world-ending power plays. He even nearly turned the entire Justice League into his personal puppet show. That's how crazy this artifact is. Over the years, Superman, Batman, and even Captain Marvel have all had their own eclipsed reflections. The Spectre once burned the diamond into dust, but later writers tied its origins to Darkseid's apocalypse, making it clear that no amount of holy fire keeps this rock buried for long. Helmet of Fate. Need instant wizard cred and the power to rewrite reality before breakfast? Slip on the Helmet of Fate. This golden headpiece is no mere fashion statement. It's the home of Nabu, a Lord of Order who basically is a cosmic control freak. First showing up in More Fun Comics number 55 back in 1940, the helmet makes whoever wears it the next Dr. Fate, channeling ancient magic while Nabu whispers or sometimes shouts directions. Later stories reveal that Nabu's not exactly the chillest roommate. By the 1970s, we learned he manipulated Kent Nelson, the original wearer, turning their partnership into a lifetime of magical therapy sessions. The helmet isn't just a spellbook with a chin strap. It supercharges the wearer's mind, grants flight, shields you from harm, and lets you bend mystic law like a pro. Entire dimensions can be sealed, elder gods locked away, and reality tidied up with a flick of glowing hands. What's worse, it comes with serious strings attached. Naboo can slowly hijack your personality and the Lords of Order. Expect strict obedience. Break their rules and you're courting cosmic backlash of the blink and you never existed variety. Over the decades, the helmet's gone on walkabout, stolen, lost, or handed to new hosts like Hector Hall, Kenfi Nelson, and Khalid Nassour. No matter who wears it, the message stays clear. Great headgear, terrifying fine print. Spear of Destiny. Ever hear the legend about the spear that pierced Christ's side? Now, imagine that relic dropped into the DC universe, humming with enough mystic voltage to rewrite history. That's the Spear of Destiny, first revealed in Weird War Tales number 50 back in 1977. Writers quickly tied it to World War II, spinning tales that Adolf Hitler once claimed it, using its eerie aura to wall off its territory and bend the war's course. From there, it became a staple of Justice Society lore, the ultimate don't touch this museum piece. The spear isn't just a simple pointy stick. It corrupts whoever carries it, twisting minds and amplifying paranoia until empires crumble. It can drain life force, age victims in a heartbeat, and throw powered heroes off their game. On top of that, the artifact's influence spreads like a psychic fog, creating a zone where even the mightiest metahumans hesitate to act. Its most notorious showcase came in the 1994 Spectre run, when echoes of Hitler's obsession infected new wielders and nearly unseated beings as lofty as the Spectre himself. Superman got dragged into that mess, and he even struggled to keep the world from breaking. Across decades of stories, the Spear of Destiny stays a top-tier danger. Half holy relic, half cosmic curse. In the wrong hands, it isn't just a weapon. It's a rewrite button for reality, waiting for the next reckless soul to pick it up. All black, the Necro Sword. Most weapons promise power. The all-black Necro Sword promises something much darker. The ability to butcher gods like cattle. Forged at the dawn of creation by Null, the eldritch god of darkness, this living blade is less a sword and more a symbiotic parasite with a taste for divinity. It doesn't just make its wielders strong, it turns them into a god slayer, and not in the poetic sense. The most infamous user was Gore the God Butcher, who picked up all black and proceeded to wage a holy war against the very concept of deities. With the blade, Gore carved through pantheons, built armies out of living shadow, and even forged a symbiote empire that stretched across time itself. The sword can shift form, create shields, weapons, or entire monstrosities, all while corrupting the land and life around it. In its lore, it's shown to be more than strong enough to kill celestial-class beings, which is about as high on the cosmic food chain as you can get without being an abstract embodiment of reality. But here's the catch. Wielding all black is like signing a contract in blood. The sword binds to its user, whispering, corrupting, and ultimately hollowing them out. Its power is intoxicating, but it leaves nothing pure behind. That's why it sits at number 7. The Necro Sword doesn't rewrite reality like a cube or reshape multiverses like the M'Kraan Crystal, but by toppling gods and dismantling divine order, it effectively changes how the Marvel cosmos is policed. It's not a tool, it's an extinction event with a blade. Black Vortex. Ever wish you could skip leg day forever and just jump straight to being a god? That's basically what the Black Vortex offers. This celestial forged mirror isn't just for checking your hair. It's for deciding whether you want to instantly upgrade into a cosmic powerhouse. The catch? You have to submit to it, which sounds like a bad dating app, but in practice means you're giving yourself over completely to the Vortex's transformation. Here's actually an example of someone, in this case, Brother Blood, submitting to it. Do that, and suddenly you're playing in the celestial weight class, energy blasts, reality bending, durability that laughs at starships, the works. In its 2015 crossover debut, Black Vortex turned the Marvel cosmic scene into chaos. Characters like Ronan the Accuser, several X-Men, and even some Guardians of the Galaxy found themselves juiced up to near celestial levels. Armies and empires that thought they had the upper hand suddenly had to deal with individuals capable of wiping out fleets or reshaping planetary environments on a whim. The vortex doesn't just make one person strong, it's contagious, meaning entire sides of a conflict can suddenly become unrecognizably powerful if enough people take the plunge. But here's the thing. The black vortex doesn't actually do anything on its own. It's not a button you push to rewrite reality or a bomb that shatters galaxies. It's an upgrade machine. A very scary one, yes, but its influence stops once people accept or refuse its offer. That's why it ranks at 13. Game-changing on a galactic scale, but not quite in the league of artifacts that rewrite the rules of existence. Mother Box. Need a cosmic best friend who can teleport you across galaxies and patch a hole in your chest? Meet the Mother Box, aka the ultimate sci-fi care package. It first appeared in 1971's Forever People #1 and quickly became the Swiss Army knife of the Fourth World. Forged by the genius Himon, with the mysterious element X, each box bonds with its owner like a digital guardian angel. Affectionate enough to answer your call, but smart enough to have its own agenda. Calling it a gadget undersells the magic. A mother box can open boom tubes for instant travel, heal wounds, or even revive the recently dead, spin up force fields, and juggle energy like a pocket-sized sun. On top of that, it's wired straight into the source, giving you cosmic data feeds and a kind of sixth sense of danger. Need to reconfigure matter or sniff out a soul across dimensions? It's got you, but there's always a catch. These devices think for themselves, and their loyalty to the grand plans of New Genesis means your feelings don't always come first. Yes, I know, that hurts. Stories from Death of the New Gods to Final Crisis show mother boxes being stolen, weaponized, or shut down when the stakes get too high. Loving, clever, and slightly terrifying, a mother box is less a tool and more a partner. One that could save your life or decide the universe needs a different plan. Book of Souls. Imagine a book so heavy when truth that the universe itself can't put it down. That's the Book of Souls, better known as the Book of Destiny or the Cosmic Log, a living record that lists everything that was, is, and will be. It first tuned up in the Weird Mystery Tales #1 back in 1972, carried by Destiny of the Endless, like it was glued to his arm. Neil Gaiman's Sandman later locked it into DC's grand cosmology, revealing that Destiny and the book are inseparable. He exists because it exists, and vice versa. This isn't your average bedtime read. Every page shows the past, present, and future as unshakable fact. Peek at it and you're not guessing at destiny, you're staring straight into the blueprint of reality. On top of that, the book isn't eager to share. Only those with an almost painful hunger for knowledge can even glimpse a line, and every revelation comes with a cost. Mortals who try to change what they see usually find the universe laughing in their face. Whether it's anchoring a Sandman tale or quietly keeping score in the background, this book remains DC's most intimidating page-turner, because every word inside is already happening. The Eternity Book. Some books are heavier because of paper. The Eternity Book is heavy because it's basically the universe on hardback. This legendary grimoire shows up across DC lore as a Merlin-made masterpiece, sometimes said to be a gift from the demon Belial, and it's packed with spells, prophecies, and secrets so big they can bend reality. Jack Kirby's 1970s occult stories planted it in the world of Etrigan the Demon, and it's been floating through sorcerer circles ever since, occasionally surfacing when someone decides they're brave, or foolish, enough to open it. Inside are pages that don't just tell history, they whisper possible futures and drop magical seeds of power that can rewrite fates. Merlin hid it, used it, and maybe broke it, which explains why shards of the book keep popping up like dangerous breadcrumbs. On top of that, those fragments alone could juice up a spellcaster or topple kingdoms. Things get wilder in Final Crisis Superman Beyond, where Superman encounters an infinite cosmic tome. Many fans connect to the Eternity Book, lifting it alongside Shazam. Whether whole or in pieces, the book's lesson stays the same. Whoever holds it isn't just reading history, they're holding the raw code of reality itself. Starheart. Imagine a glowing green storm of pure magic deciding it wants to live inside a lantern. That's the Starheart, DC's ancient reservoir of wild energy and the secret spark behind the very first Green Lantern. Alan Scott, long before Power Rings and Guardians, cosmic forces gathered every stray scrap of magic into one pulsing mass. A fragment of that mass fell to Earth, reshaped itself into a lantern, and whispered to a railroad engineer in All-American Comics #16 back in 1940. Alan built a ring from it and lit up the Golden Age with emerald fire. The Starheart isn't Polite energy. It's a semi-sentient ocean of sorcery that fuels green flame constructs, heals wounds, and can warp reality like wet clay. On top of that, it loves to test its hosts. Over the decades, it has fractured minds, created living landscapes, and even formed a full-on Starheart city on the moon when left unchecked. Things got messy in the Dark Things storyline when the Starheart reawakened, possessed Alan, and started twisting other metahumans, including his own kids, Jade and Obsidian, into weapons. Stopping it never comes easy. Heroes usually have to separate its fragments or convince Alan to give up the charge. The lesson is simple. The Starheart gives power beyond reason, but it always collects a price, and it's never finished deciding who's really in control. Mobius Chair. Ever wish your favorite armchair could answer every question in the universe and also drive you anywhere instantly? That's the Mobius Chair, the ultimate piece of cosmic furniture. Debuting with the ever-curious Metron in New Gods #1 back in 1971, it's less a throne of power and more a turbocharged research pod. Metron doesn't crave rulership. He just wants front row seats to existence. This chair lets him watch any point in time or space while hopping dimensions like it's a daily commute. The chair is a portable oracle and a boom tube engine rolled into one. Sit down and you can zip across realities, run computations beyond any supercomputer, and ask pretty much any question, then actually get the answer. On top of that, it has a will of its own. The knowledge it offers can eat at you, and the chair doesn't exactly like being treated as a taxi. Its biggest spotlight moment comes during the Justice League Darkseid War when Batman dives into it to keep it from vanishing. Instantly, he's the so-called Bat God, casually dropping cosmic secrets that would fry lesser minds. Over the years, the Mobius chair's been stolen, fought over, even weaponized, yet it keeps returning to Metron. It's the universe's most dangerous seat, and sitting down is the easiest and riskiest way to know everything. M'Kraan Crystal. At first glance, the M'Kraan Crystal just looks like an oversized alien gemstone. In reality, it's one of the most important pieces of cosmic furniture in the Marvel Universe. Known as the Nexus of all realities, the Shi'ar guarded this artifact as less of a weapon and more of the multiverse's hinge. Mess with it, and you risk slamming every possible door in existence at once. The crystal first crashed in X-Men lore back in Uncanny X-Men 107, and it's been a reoccurring cosmic headache ever since. Within its depths lies not just raw power, but an entire inner realm, sometimes depicted as a city that holds together the fabric of countless universes. Shards of the crystal alone have been used to transport characters across realities, like when refugees from the Age of Apocalypse found their way into Earth 616. At its worst, tampering with the crystal has sparked multiversal calamities, with the Phoenix Force and other cosmic players dragged into the chaos. What makes the M'Kraan Crystal so terrifying isn't that it blows things up, it's that it connects everything. Control it, and you endlessly hold the keys to interdimensional travel, reality convergence, and possibly the fate of infinite worlds. Break it, and you're basically pulling the plug on the multiverse. That's why it ranks at number 8. It's not a wish-granting cube or a corruption-fueled grimoire, but its role as cosmic infrastructure makes it just as dangerous. It's less a weapon and more a keystone, and when a keystone cracks, the whole structure comes down. The Cosmic Cube. Ever wish you could snap your fingers and make the universe bend to your will? Well, the Cosmic Cube is basically that fantasy in box form. Created by AIM back in the Silver Age, these glowing cubes are reality wish engines. Whatever you want, they make it real. No limits, no caveats, no three-wish nonsense. If you can imagine it, the cube can manifest it. Whether that's rewriting history, building a new world, or giving your enemies a really bad day. Over the years, cubes have been the ultimate cheat device for Marvel's biggest schemers. Red Skull, Thanos, and other power-hungry types have all tried their hand at reshaping reality with one. The results range from catastrophic rewrites of entire populations to the creation of entire pocket universes. And sometimes the cubes don't stop at being tools, they grow up. More than one has matured into a fully sentient being like Cubic, or the Shaper of Worlds, gaining not just godlike power but also a personality. At that point, the cube isn't just granting wishes, it has its own. That's why cosmic cubes rank so high at number 5. They're not tied to one domain, like time or souls. They're open-ended reality editors limited only by the wielder's imagination, and sometimes the cube's own maturity. They don't just change the power of balance, they change the very rules of the game. Sure, wielding one responsibly can make you a benevolent god, but let's be real. Most people use them like toddlers with permanent markers. Messy, destructive, and impossible to ignore. White Lantern. Imagine a power ring that doesn't just shine, it brings life itself to the party. That's the White Lantern, the ultimate glow-up of DC's emotional spectrum. Born during Jeff Johns' Blackest Night event, it shows up when the cosmic life entity wakes from a very long nap and decides the universe needs a reset. The white light fires bursts onto the page in Blackest Night number 7, gathering a handful of heroes into a one-time White Lantern Corps to shut down Necron and his army of undead buzzkills. What makes it wild is the white light isn't a single emotion, but the spark of existence. The ring taps that force to heal wounds, resurrect the recently departed, and even copy the power of every other color on the spectrum. Sinestro gets an early taste, bonding with the life entity and blasting black lanterns like a walking supernova. Hal Jordan later uses the same energy to revive allies mid-battle, casually undoing death while throwing constructs around. On top of that, Kyle Rayner goes full overachiever during the Wrath of the First Lantern and lights out arcs, mastering every color before carrying the white light solo. He eventually splits the energy into multiple rings so he doesn't burn himself or reality out. The catch? That much life power is hard to bottle. Cosmic safeguards kick in, mortal hosts strain, and the ring itself has a mind of its own. It's creation's brightest flame, and anyone wearing it's basically borrowing the universe's heartbeat. Infinity Gauntlet. It's the most famous fashion accessory in comics and also the deadliest, the Infinity Gauntlet. Slip 6 glowing rocks into one golden glove, and suddenly you've got dominion over everything that matters. Time, space, reality, mind, soul, and power. On their own, each Infinity Gem is a nightmare. Together, they're basically the universe's operating system handed over to whoever's wearing the glove. The Infinity Gauntlet's definitive showcase came in Jim Starlin's 1991 saga, The Infinity Gauntlet. Thanos, in a rare moment of ambition, assembled all 6 gems and immediately rewrote the universe to suit his ego. He erased half of all life with a snap, bent physics into nonsense, toyed with time like it was silly putty, and even humbled the cosmic abstracts, entities like Eternity and Galactus themselves. The Gauntlet turned him into the most unstoppable force in creation, able to unmake or resurrect anything we thought of. That's why the Gauntlet stands as Marvel's ultimate symbol of practical omnipotence. It doesn't just bend rules, it makes them. When wielded by someone with the will to use it, the Gauntlet can change the universe on an immediate, irreversible scale. In terms of raw, story-tested power, the Infinity Gauntlet is the crown jewel of Marvel artifacts. It's the reason the snap is pop culture legend, and why one glove can terrify gods, heroes, and fans alike. Ultimate Nullifier. It's small, it's unassuming, and it could delete you and possibly your whole universe like hitting empty recycle bin. Meet the Ultimate Nullifier, the most terrifying handheld device in Marvel history. First introduced in the legendary Fantastic Four Galactus trilogy, this little gadget is the one thing even Galactus, the devourer of worlds, takes seriously. When Reed Richards points it at him, Big G didn't laugh, he backed down. That's how scary it is. The Nullifier doesn't twist reality, create illusions, or spawn new worlds. It erases. Whatever you aim it at, God, abstract, cosmic horror, even an entire dimension, simply ceases to exist. No loopholes, no clever comebacks, no it'll be back in the sequel. It's absolute removal. But here's the catch. Using it isn't just about pushing a button. You need willpower and focus strong enough to control it. Otherwise, you risk wiping yourself out right along with your target. In other words, it's the galaxy's deadliest elite key, but with no undo option. Across its history, the Nullifier has popped up as the ultimate trump card, capable of ending just about any threat in Marvel's hierarchy, from rogue gods to reality-bending artifacts. Its sheer finality makes it stand apart from tools that merely reshape existence. where the cosmic cube rewrites, the nullifier just takes out the eraser and scrubs reality clean. That's why it sits at number 4. Few artifacts can scare Galactus into retreat, and fewer still can end literally anything. Small device, infinite consequences, handle with extreme caution. Anti-life equation. Imagine a math problem so evil it can cancel free will. That's the anti-life equation, the ultimate nightmare fuel from New Gods and Forever People stories. First name dropped in Forever People number 5 back in 1971. It's a formula, sometimes a creepy chant, sometimes pure numbers that convinces any mind that life is pointless, then hands the steering wheel to whoever recites it. Darkseid treats it like the holy grail of oppression, while Mother Boxes quietly hunt down fragments hiding inside unsuspecting humans. Like poor Sunny Sumo. Over the decades, writers have gone wild with it. In Jack Kirby's Tales, the equation lets you straight up dominate minds across galaxies. Jim Starlin's Cosmic Odyssey turns it into a sentient shadow creeping through entire worlds. Grant Morrison gets stylish, presenting it in Seven Soldiers' Mr. Miracle as a kind of person that viruses that spreads despair. Then later in Final Crisis as a planet-wide broadcast that locks humanity into Darkseid's grip and churns out his Justifier army. Other creators toss in extras like raising the dead, bending reality, or running a cosmic, mind-controlled network as seen in Orion. No matter the version, the anti-life equation stays the ultimate conversation ender. Once someone drops it, hope evaporates and free will checks out. It's basically math as tyranny. Life equation. What's the cosmic counterpunch to a formula that kills free will? Enter the life equation, a metaphysical recipe for creation itself. It first takes center stage in DC's New 52 era when Kyle Rayner, rocking his White Lantern status, drifts past the source wall during the Lights Out storyline and accidentally yanks the equation straight from the source. He comes back realizing that carrying raw existence in your back pocket is a terrible life choice. This isn't some feel-good slogan. The life equation can twist reality like clay, amp up White Lantern powers, and rewrite entire populations if you're reckless enough to try. Kyle demonstrates the danger by splitting its essence into 7 separate white rings, hoping to dodge corruption while still keeping the universe from unraveling. On top of that, the New Gods smell opportunity. Highfather and Metron chase the equation through the Godhead arc, scheming to fuse every emotional spectrum ring into one mega weapon that could reset the multiverse and put Darkseid in permanent time out. Later Green Lantern runs, especially Robert Venditti's Life Equation arc, doubled down on its scale, treating it as a cosmic engine that can rebuild planets or rewrite minds with a single thought. If the anti-life equation is oppression's final word, the life equation is pure creation, turned up to 11, and whoever holds it basically holds the user manual for existence. Warlogog. Ever wished you could hold the entire timeline in the palm of your hand? Warlogog is exactly that. A pocket-sized model of the DC universe where every tick of history is mapped like clockwork. Jack Kirby introduced this cosmic hourglass in 1984's Superpowers miniseries, dropping it straight into the eternal chess match between Metron and Darkseid. Decades later, Grant Morrison cranked the danger up in JLA Rock of Ages, turning the Warlogog into the ultimate prize for anyone hoping to rewrite reality with the flick of a wrist. The device isn't just a fancy snow globe. It shows every moment across space and time and, when properly assembled, can bend those moments to your will. Heroes have used it to coordinate universe-saving plans. Villains like Lex Luthor have tried to weaponize its patterning, and Metron once trusted the human Hourman to guard it, only for Hourman to scatter pieces of it through time to keep it out of the wrong hands. On top of that, the Warlogog demands a mind that can actually grasp infinity. Without that, it's a glittering migraine waiting to happen. Still, incomplete fragments still pack a punch, making anyone who collects them a walking paradox. Whole or broken, the Warlogog remains the DCU's most dangerous timepiece, which shows that controlling history is a lot easier to start than to stop. Miracle Machine. Imagine a cosmic 3D printer that runs on pure wishful thinking. That's the Miracle Machine, DC's ultimate be careful for what you asked for gadget. Built by the controllers and introduced in Adventure Comics number 367 way back in 1968, it started out as a Legion of Superheroes trophy for stopping a rogue controller and immediately becoming the galaxy's most terrifying paperweight. The idea is simple and terrifying. Speak or even focus on a desire, and the machine turns it into reality. Naturally, the Legion locked it behind walls of Enertron because one stray daydream could rewrite the universe before lunch. Its power is basically unlimited. The Miracle Machine can spit out matter, bend local physics, or drop a single universe-wide change in one move if it's got enough juice and a steady intent guiding it. Fast forward to Final Crisis and you see why everyone's so nervous. Brainiac 5 dusts it off for Superman after Darkseid starts chewing on reality itself. Superman, never one for half measures, charges it with his own solar energy and fires off a multiversal wish to reset the cosmos. On top of that, the Thing is infamous for side effects, paradoxes, erased lives, or a tyrant's dream come true. So the Miracle Machine sits in the future's most secured vaults. A shiny reminder that sometimes the scariest weapon isn't a death ray, but a dream that can actually happen. Element X. Ever wondered what kind of cosmic bling could power a god's iPhone? Meet Element X, the wild card of the DC universe. Jack Kirby first dropped this mysterious substance in New Gods number 7 back in 1972, calling it the X element. From the start, it was a big deal tied to the World Forge, and the tech that keeps New Genesis and Apocalypse running. Metron even cut shady deals to snag a piece because, of course, the universe's noisiest scientist wanted a taste. Himon and other New Gods inventors later used it to build mother boxes and father boxes, sneaking tiny sparks of its energy across the multiverse. Here's where it gets spicy. Element X is described as the purest metal of creation, a kind of reality fuel hiding in microscopic doses everywhere. It can be tuned by mind or magic, letting it twist matter, energy, even cause and effect itself. Mother boxes run on it, boom tombs open with it, and the Mobius chair basically surfs the source thanks to this glitter. Fast forward to Scott Snyder's Dark Knight's Metal, where heroes gear up in full 10th metal armor and forge weapons that could smack down Nightmare Batman. Death Metal doubles down, turning shards of this stuff into universe-saving reagents. So yeah, Element X isn't just shiny. It's the cheat code behind miracles, multiverse hacks, and the ultimate cosmic flair. The heart of the universe. Sitting among the top of the Marvel Cosmics toy chest sits something so broken, so unfair, that even Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet would look underpowered. It's called the heart of the universe, and in Marvel, The End, Jim Starlin used it to answer the question, okay, but what if someone was literally everything? The heart isn't a sword, a cube, or even a gauntlet. It's a singular energy source. A cosmic engine that fuses directly with its wielder. Whoever holds it doesn't just command reality, they become reality. When Thanos got his hands on it, he didn't just snap fingers or rewrite timelines. He rewrote the universe itself, casually dismissing cosmic abstracts like they were side characters in his personal drama. The Living Tribunal? Irrelevant. Eternity? Outclassed. Thanos didn't just sit on the throne, he became the throne, the kingdom, and the air everyone breathes. That's what makes the heart such a one-off nightmare. Unlike the gauntlet, which still has rules and limitations tied to 6 stones, the heart simply says, congrats, you're omnipotent now. It's the purest form of narrative power, absolute sovereignty for as long as the story demands. So why rank it number 2? Simple. Every other artifact on this list besides the next one, no matter how insane, still operates within Marvel's cosmic hierarchy. The heart doesn't play by those rules. It is the rule. If the Infinity Gauntlet makes you a god, the heart of the universe makes you the author. Astral Regulator. Some artifacts bend reality. Others blow up planets. The Astral Regulator, it tells the multiverse how to behave, like the cosmic hall monitor nobody can ignore. Introduced in Jim Starlin's modern Thanos epics, the Regulator isn't just another shiny trinket. It's a piece of the architecture that keeps universes distinct and functioning. Think less weapon and more system administrator password for all of creation. In Thanos the Infinity Conflict and the Infinity Ending, Thanos gets his hands on an Astral Regulator and promptly does what Thanos does best, break everything. Using it, he absorbs cosmic abstracts like the Living Tribunal and even higher above all style authorities, pulling their powers and responsibilities into himself. Normally, these beings are the checks and balances of Marvel's hierarchy, the ultimate referees. With the Regulator, Thanos didn't just bypass them, he made them irrelevant. The device grants structural authority, letting its wielder reassign or outright consume the roles that govern existence. That makes it uniquely terrifying. Unlike the Infinity Gauntlet, which gives you near limitless power within one universe, the Regulator operates on the framework level, deciding how universes are separated and maintained. It's essentially the code editor for the multiverse itself. That's why it earns the #1 spot. It doesn't just let you play God, it lets you absorb the gods who were supposed to stop you. Well, that's it for this one. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe for more, and ring the bell so you never miss a drop. Craving more stories from comics, movies, and beyond? Check out the video right here. Cheers. See you in the next one.